welcome students in our today's online English class. Today we are going to study a lesson of your first flight book, which is 8th lesson. The name of the lesson is Reach for the Top. The chapter Reach for the Top is a story of two women who conquered the world despite obstacles and become the role model of youth. In its first part we will study about Santosh Yadav. So let us begin the chapter. The only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice was born in a society where the birth of a son was regarded as a blessing, and a daughter, though not considered a curse, was not generally welcome. When her mother was expecting Santosh, a traveling holy man, giving her his blessings, assumed that she wanted a son. But to everyone's surprise, the unborn child's grandmother, who was standing close by, told him that they did not want a son. The holy man was also surprised. Nevertheless, he gave the requested blessings, and as destiny would have it, the blessing seemed to work. Santosh was born the sixth child in a family with five sons. A sister too, five brothers. She was born in the small village of Juniawas of Rewari district in Haryana. So, the story is about Santosh Yadav. Santosh was born in a small village of Rewari district. The name of the village was Juniawas in Haryana. In her village, birth of a girl child was not welcomed. Before her birth, a holy man was about to give her mother the blessing of a son. But her grandmother insisted that they wanted a daughter. Santosh is the only sister of her five brothers. Let's see next ninja. The girl was given the name Santosh, which means contentment. But Santosh was not always content with her place in a traditional way of life. She began living life on her own terms for the start. Where other girls wore traditional Indian dresses, Santosh preferred shorts. Looking back, she says now, from the very beginning, I was quite determined that if I choose a correct and a rational path, the others around me had to change, not me. The blessings of holy men worked. The girl was born. Her family named her Santosh, as it means contentment, which shows her happiness on her birth. Santosh began living life on her own terms from the start. Where other girls wore traditional Indian dresses, Santosh preferred shorts. Next ninja. Santosh's parents were affluent landowners who could afford to send their children to the best schools, even to the country's capital, New Delhi, which was quite close by, but in the line with the prevailing custom in the family. Santosh had to make do with the local village school. So she decided to fight the system in her own quiet way. When the right moment arrived, and the right moment came when she turned 16. At 16, most of the girls in her village used to get married. Santosh was also under pressure from her parents to do the same. Here, affluent means wealthy. So, Santosh's parents were rich or wealthy landowners who could afford to send their children even to the country's capital, New Delhi. Means they can afford good education for their children, but they choose the traditional way. They sent Santosh in a local village school. So she decided to fight the system in her own quiet way. And the moment arrived when she was of 16 years. At 16, most of the girls in her village used to get married, but she refused to get married and wanted to study. A marriage as early as that was the last thing on her mind. She threatened her parents that she would never marry if she did not get a proper education. She left home and got herself enrolled in a school in Delhi. When her parents refused to pay for her education, she politely informed them of her plans to earn money by working part time to pay her school fees. Her parents then agreed to pay for her education. So, here marriage is marriage was last preferred thing for her. She threatened her parents that she would never marry if she would will not get a proper education. She left home and enrolled herself in a school in Delhi. When her parents refused to pay her school fees, she politely informed them of her plan to earn money by working part-time job. Then her parents agreed to pay for her education. Wishing always to study a bit more, and with her father slowly getting used to her urge for more education, Santosh passed the high school examinations and went to Jaipur. She joined Maharani College and got a room in Kasturba Hostel. Santosh remembers Kasturba Hostel faced the Aravali Hills. I used to watch villages from my room going up the hill and suddenly vanishing after a while. One day I decided to check it out myself. I found nobody except a few mountaineers. I asked if I could join them. To my pleasant surprise, they answered in the affirmative and motivated me to take to climbing. Santosh wanted to study a bit more, so she went to Jaipur for higher studies after completing her schooling. She passed the high school examination and joined Maharani College and got a room in Kasturba Hostel in Jaipur. So Santosh remembers Kasturba Hostel where she took a room. The hostel room in Jaipur faced Aravali Hills. She used to watch people climbing the hill. She got curious and went to meet the mountaineers one day. She asked them if she could join them. They agreed and encouraged her to take mountaineering. Then there was no looking back for this determined young girl. She saved money and enrolled in a course at Uttarkashi's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. My college semester in Jaipur was to end in April, but it ended on the 19th of May. And I was supposed to be in Uttarkashi on the 21st. So I did not go back home. Instead, I headed straight for the training. I had to write a letter to apology to my father without whose permission I had got myself enrolled at Uttarkashi. Santosh enrolled herself in a course at Uttarkashi Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, and then she didn't look back. She informed her parents about this and apologized to them for taking admission without their permission. Thereafter, Santosh went on an expedition every year. Her climbing skills matured rapidly. Also, she developed a remarkable resistance to cold and the altitude, equipped with an iron will, physical endurance, and an amazing mental toughness. She proved herself repeatedly. The culmination of her hard work and sincerity came in 1992, just 4 years after she had shyly asked the Aravalli mountaineers if she could join them. At barely 20 years of age, Santosh Yadav scaled Mount Everest, becoming the youngest woman in the world to achieve the feat. If her climbing skills, physical fitness, and mental strength impressed her seniors, her concern for others and desire to work together with them found her a special place in the heart of the fellow climbers. So, thereafter, Santosh went on an expedition every year and developed a remarkable resistance to cold and the altitude. Here, resistance means fighting power of body, endurance means tolerance, and culmination means summit or climax. And due to this resistance to cold and the altitude, her determination and strong willpower helped her a lot. And she became the youngest girl who climbed Mount Everest. She had physical stamina and mental toughness, which were most necessary for climbing. And her sincerity came in 1992, just after 4 years of Aravali uh, incident. She climbed Mount Everest first time at the age of 20. She motivated her seniors too. During the 1992 Everest mission, Santosh Yadav provided special care to a climber who lay dying at the South Pole. She was unfortunately unsuccessful in saving him. However, she managed to save another climber, Mohan Singh, who would have met with the same fate had she not shared her oxygen with him. During an during the 1992 Everest mission, Santosh Yadav tried to help a climber who lay dying at the South Pole, but she was unfortunately unsuccessful in saving him. But she managed to save another climber, Mohan Singh, who met with the same fate had she not shared her oxygen with him. Means she saved the life of Mohan Singh, who was her fellow climber. Within 12 months, Santosh found herself a member of an Indo Nepalese women's expedition that invited her to join them. She then scaled the Everest a second time, thus setting a record as the only woman to have scaled the Everest twice and securing for herself and India a unique place in the annals of mountaineering. In recognition of her achievements, the Indian government bestowed upon her one of the nation's top honors, the Padma Shri. So, bestowed upon means conferred on or to give her. Okay, within 12 months of her her first expedition, she again scaled Mount Everest with Indo-Nepalese women. She scaled Mount Everest second time and thus she made a record as the only woman to have scaled the Everest twice in early age. Means she became the only woman mountaineer in the world to climb Mount Everest twice. She also awarded by the Indian government with the highest award, Padma Shri. Describing her feelings when she was literally on the top of the world, Santosh has said, "It took some time for the enormity of the moment to sink in. Then I unfurled the Indian tricolour and held it aloft on the roof of the world. The feeling is incredible. The Indian flag was flying on the top of the world. It was truly a spiritual moment. I felt proud as an Indian. Also, a fervent environmentalist, Santosh collected and brought down 500 kilograms of garbage from the Himalayas. Here, she describes her feelings and says, when she reached at the top of mountain or Everest, she says that it was a great moment for her when she unfurled Indian tricolor flag on the roof of the world. The feeling was incredible and the Indian flag was flying on the top of the world. It was truly a spiritual moment. I felt proud as an Indian, she says. And one more thing about her, she was also a fervent. Fervent means having strong and sincere feeling. Santosh Yadav had strong and sincere feelings. She collected 500 kilograms of garbage from Himalayas and she brought it down from Himalayas. So that's all for the day. Thank you so much.